Sometimes the people who have the least end up giving us the most. This is not just a story, it's a lesson in humanity that will stay with you forever. Before I share it, make sure to hit that subscribe button, because stories like these are rare, raw, and real, and you don't want to miss the next one. I never believed that one fleeting encounter could change the way I looked at life forever. I thought kindness was something you read about in books or saw in movies, rare, staged, almost too good to be true. But one cold evening, on a crowded city street, I met a man who had nothing, no home, no family, no money, no stability, yet in that moment, he gave me everything I didn't even realize I was searching for. It was winter. The kind of winter where the air bites your skin, and the city feels harsh and unwelcoming. People hurried along the sidewalks, bundled in coats and scarves, eyes glued to their phones, minds focused on survival until they reached the warmth of their apartments. I was one of them. Exhausted after another draining day at work, I carried frustration like a weight on my shoulders. Deadlines, bills, arguments with people I loved, and a gnawing emptiness that nothing seemed to fill. My life looked fine from the outside, but inside, I was collapsing quietly. That evening, as I walked down the dimly lit street near the subway station, I noticed him. A man sitting on the ground against the cold concrete wall, wrapped in a tattered blanket. His hair was messy, his beard untrimmed, and his shoes, if you could even call them that, were barely holding together. Beside him was a cardboard sign with shaky handwriting, hungry but hopeful. Anything helps. Normally, I would have looked away. I hate admitting that. Like so many others, I had trained myself to ignore the homeless, to pretend I didn't see them, because seeing them meant confronting a truth I wasn't comfortable with. But something about him was different. He wasn't calling out to people. He wasn't shaking a cup or begging loudly. He just sat there, silent, his eyes following the world with a strange calmness. I slowed down without meaning to. Our eyes met for a second, and I felt a jolt, like he saw something in me I didn't even see in myself. I kept walking, but my heart tugged me back. I reached into my pocket, hoping I had some spare change, but all I found was a single crumpled $5 bill. I hesitated. $5 wasn't much, but it was all I had in cash. I walked over and handed it to him. Here, man, I don't have much, but maybe this can help a little. He looked at me, then at the bill, then back at me. His eyes were warm, gentle, almost fatherly. He smiled. Thank you. You don't know how much this means. His voice was soft but steady, like someone who had once spoken to crowded rooms but now spoke only to the cold night air. I smiled awkwardly and started to leave, but then he asked, "Are you okay?" That question stunned me. He had nothing, absolutely nothing, and yet the first thing he did after receiving money was ask me if I was okay. I didn't know what to say. My throat tightened. I guess. Just tired. He nodded slowly, like he understood something deeper than I admitted. Then, to my surprise, he reached into the small plastic bag by his side and pulled something out. It was a sandwich, wrapped in a cheap deli paper. He held it out to me. Take this, he said. I blinked. What? No, that's yours. But he pushed it toward me, insistent. I want you to have it. You look like you need it more than I do. My heart cracked open in that moment. Here was a man sitting in the freezing cold, with no guarantee of where his next meal would come from, offering me his food. A stranger. Someone society had written off. And yet, in that moment, he gave me something nobody else had. Genuine kindness without expecting anything in return. I shook my head, tears stinging my eyes. I can't take your food. He smiled again, faint but real. It's not just food. It's what I have. And sometimes, when you have nothing, giving what little you have makes it mean even more. Please, take it. My hands trembled as I accepted the sandwich. It wasn't about the food. It was about the humanity in the gesture. I felt seen, understood, cared for by someone who had no reason to care for me. We sat there for a while. I asked him his name. He said it was Marcus. He used to be a carpenter, once had a family, once had a home. But life unraveled, bad luck, a few bad choices, and suddenly the ground was gone beneath him. Yet, despite everything, he refused to let bitterness eat away his soul. I don't have much, he said, but I still have my heart. As long as I have that, I can give something. I listened to his story in awe. He didn't complain. He didn't curse the world. Instead, He spoke about the beauty of small things, the warmth of the sun when it hit the street just right, the kindness of strangers, the laughter of children he sometimes heard while sitting on the corner. He spoke like a poet, like someone who saw light even in the darkest places. When I finally stood to leave, I felt different. Lighter. My problems didn't vanish, but they shifted. I realized how much I had, and how little I appreciated it. I realized that kindness was not about abundance, it was about willingness. As I walked home, holding that sandwich, I promised myself something: I would not forget Marcus. I would not let his kindness fade into just another story I told once and then buried. I would let it shape me, guide me, and push me to give, even when I felt I had nothing to offer. And in many ways, Marcus gave me everything that night: hope, perspective, and a renewed faith in humanity. If this story touched you, let it be more than just words. Carry it with you. Be someone's Marcus. Share kindness even when you feel like you have nothing left to give, because sometimes, that's when it matters most. If you believe the world needs more stories like this, subscribe, share, and spread this message. Together, we can keep the ripple of kindness alive.